Hey, I'm Jack from Critical Solutions, and today I'll be going over routine maintenance and troubleshooting of your gas and liquid pump. So for our first pump, this is going to be your gas pump. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to remove your exhaust here. You have there. You're going to unscrew this. This will only be hand tight, so you don't need a wrench. You're going to unscrew this. The next thing you're going to want to pull out is your spool. And you're just going to get some needle nose pliers. You're going to be able to grab it lightly so you don't scratch it up. And you're going to slide that out. The next thing you're going to want to pull out is your sleeve. And you can buy a tool from Haskel, or you can remove the Allen plug on the back side and take a flathead screwdriver, and you're going to push the sleeve through. You're going to push the sleeve just enough so you can grab it through here and grab your needle nose pliers again, and lightly, because you don't want to scratch up this side. Pull that out, and you should be able to take a rag and slide this all the way out. The way this works is that this is run through compressed air, and this spool sits in the sleeve and slides back and forth. And what happens is either your compressed air has too much water and it flushes out your lubricant, so this will stick in here and then your pump will stop. Now you want to take this out and check to make sure all your O-rings are good and it's lubricated. If you find a bad O-ring, what you're going to want to do is take one of them off and put on your new one. You're going to re-lubricate and then slide it back in. And now you're going to take your spool and slide that back in. Now if you take your exhaust port here, you can use this to push the sleeve back all the way in. Now as you tighten it, this will set to the right setting for where that spool and sleeve need to go. This is only 50 to 75 inch-pounds, so you don't have to use a wrench to tighten this. You're going to get that to about here. Once you get your exhaust slide on there, all you're going to need to do is just push down so that's straight, and that's as tight as you need to go for that one. That's something you should do once every week if you're doing your pumps, if you're running your machine 24/7. And usually the gas pumps last a lot longer than the liquid pumps, so you don't have to worry about them too much. But the way you're going to know if something's wrong in there is if you turn your pump on and it only blows air out of your exhaust and it does not pump. So that's something you can check first before having to rebuild. The next step you can do is remove your pilot stems. What your pilot stems do is it acts like a switch for your pistons inside. So your piston will come up, hit that pilot stem and open it and allow the air to come to the top and push that piston back down. So if it does stick, one thing you want to check is you can pull out the top cap here, pull out your pilot stem, check your O-ring, re-lubricate, and slide it back in. Now you're going to have them on both sides. So you can remove both sides and check both sides and then restart your pump to see if it's going to start again. So this is your Maximator liquid pump. And this pump generally requires more maintenance than your gas pump because this is used for your running. One maintenance thing you're going to want to do is always lubricate your spool and sleeve inside of your air drive unit. Now this is just for compressed air. There's no CO2 running through here. So the way you're going to want to check it is you're going to remove your exhaust. You're going to get a pick tool and carefully slide out the sleeve without screwing up any of the O-rings. You're going to pop the cap off. And slowly work its way out until you get about there. Now there's going to be this is your spool and this is your sleeve, so you can kind of push this in a little bit. And you can grab this without scratching up the inside. And pull it out just enough so you can grab it. Maybe a little more. Sometimes I'll even use a rag around my pliers so I can slide it out easier without scratching it up. Then you can pull the whole thing out. So after you remove your spools, you're going to want to check everything. You're going to take it all apart. You're going to clean everything off. You're going to inspect each O-ring, make sure they're not broken or damaged. And you're going to check your sleeve. Now in your sleeve, you only have 5 O-rings. You do have one missing in the middle, and that's supposed to be that way because air flows through that right there. So don't reinstall an O-ring over that. After you clean off everything, you're going to re-lubricate, and you're only going to use the MaxPro lubricant for that. So you will lubricate everything. And you can go heavy on the lube. And you're going to reinstall. And then you're going to make sure that this slides nicely in and out. If it does, you're going to reinstall it back into your machine, and it should be good, ready to go. And reinstall your cap and your snap ring. Now that's just for your maintenance. Now if you have a pump that stops, one thing to check is see where the air is, your compressed air is flowing out. If you turn on your pump and it's only flowing out to your exhaust, that usually means that your spool is stuck in there. So that's kind of a troubleshooting thing. If it's shooting out, if you have compressed air shooting out this hole right here, that usually means your pilot stems is stuck somewhere. So what you're going to do for that is remove your cap. There's going to be a cap, a spring, and then your stem. Take some needle nose, grab your stem out. So there's your stem. You're going to check your O-ring, clean it, lubricate it, and slide it back in. Now like your gas pump, you also have one on the bottom and on top. So you can do that on both sides. If you're noticing that your pump is working, but your pressures aren't building up as high as you would like them to build, like they're only getting up to 1500 PSI and just won't go past that, one thing you can check is your check valves. And the way this works is you have CO2 coming in one side and flowing through the whole thing. So this is a one-way check valve. CO2 can only go in this way and it can't come out this way. But what you can do for that one is you're going to remove this, your check valve. And then you're going to look inside to check to see if you have any debris. If you do have debris, you're going to remove this snap ring. Next, you'll have a retaining clip. Followed by a spring and a ball. What you're going to want to do now is look down in there and make sure there's no debris, clean everything out. You're going to reinstall your ball, your spring, your retaining clip, and your snap ring. Then you can go to the next side and check that side. It's going to be the same exact thing, except for on this one, the flow of the CO2 is going to come from this side and go out. So you should be able to blow from this side out and not back in. Once you have checked both sides and made sure it's all clear, you can reinstall everything and then hook it back up to your machine.